Welcome back, everybody, to Empyrion Galactic Survival on version 1.1.6. I'm anoldguygaming, and this is the Getting Started tutorial series. And we're going to continue right where we left off, excuse me, with our hover... something in my throat, doggone it. With our hover vessel here. Just wanted to remind everybody that I am, I am very busy in real life with my job and my other videos on the YouTube channel that's going on, and some things in real life. Nothing real bad, but so that that's why the videos seem to have slowed down. But we will finish this series. I promise you that it'll happen, as long as it's within my power to do so, which it is. The videos are just I just don't have time, to get the videos out one after the other like I was earlier, because my situation's kind of changed in real life because of that. So we will continue on. We will get the series done, but I'm not going to be able to release videos, every day or even every other day. It might be more like one or two a week until we're done. But that being said, we don't have that many more to do either. So, we're getting close to wrapping it up here. Okay, so anyway, let's go ahead and just jump right back in with our hover vessel. The plan for today is we're going to do just a quick deco job on the hover vessel. I'm not going to spend a long time on that because I have other things that I want to get to. I went out, I had to do a video recording test before I started the actual recording. So I went out and killed a bunch of bugs and stuff, testing some graphic settings, so that's where all that meat came from. Let's take a look at our garden really quick too. So it looks like we're still waiting for the pumpkins to come back, so that's good. But we're doing really good on food. We still got tons of burgers there, and 3 more ration packs. And are you doing stuff? You're not. Okay, let's have you work on rations. We're not going to make 100, but we'll queue up 100 so that way we can make 4 or 3 or whatever it is. Okay, so yeah, let's go ahead. I'm trying to think. Do I want to? Let me look in here for a second. I think what I want to do is, we made 3 normal drills, if I remember right, the last time I was on here. And what I think I'm going to do is, can we make big drills? Let's take a look. If we can't, I might just cheat them in, just to demonstrate them. But if we can make them, we might as well do so. So let's see, I want to go to hover vessel, and I want to go to, where are the drills? Here they are. Okay, so these are the large drills, and can we make them? Hover vessel. Yes, we can. We can make... I want to make a couple of these. Oh, you know what? They're actually not that expensive. That's actually really, really inexpensive. Okay, so let's queue a couple of those up. I also want to... Whoops. Wrong button there. I also want to maybe make 1 more normal-sized drill. So let's queue that one up in this constructor. So yeah, the plan today is we're gonna deco the hover vessel, but then we're gonna take it out and actually use it. And I'm just gonna show you, some of the different things that you can use a hover vessel for in the game. Besides, just riding around. So let's take a look at this for a second. We only have 1,000 bullets in here. Yeah, you know what? That's probably okay. That's probably okay. All right, so here's what we're going to do. Let's hop on in here, and we're going to turn the power on with the Y key, and we're going to get her up off the deck here so we can get underneath. Press O to make sure she's leveled out, and then press F to hop out of the vessel itself. We will put the symmetry plane on because the symmetry plane works for painting. So let's make sure that's right in the middle. And again, like I said, I could spend a long time really decorating this thing and making it look really slick. I could, but I'm not going to. We're going to keep it very basic. However, that being said, I thought we would maybe go with a black and orange theme with this, okay? So let's use black as the base color. And we're just going to kind of paint the whole damn thing black, and then we'll do some orange trim on it. Oh, you know what, though? We should probably change... Let's change the texture on our extensions. Maybe we'll just go with this as a base texture, too. So, usually when I, do paint jobs and stuff on bases, vessels, whatever it happens to be, I'll typically, do the base texture and color first and do more or less the whole thing with that, and then I'll add the trim and the decos and the symbols, that sort of thing later. Oh, you know what? I made a couple of changes to this hover vessel since the video as well. I'm trying to remember what those changes were, though. One change that I went ahead and did after the fact is I went ahead and... Let's turn the symmetry plane back off for just a second. I went ahead and covered up the hover engines because there's no harm in doing so. And in doing that, of course... It protects the hover engines, and it gives us another extension that we can use to increase our space. So I decided to do that, after I tested out a little more and realized that it's not going to cause any problems at all. So I did that. I made one other... Oh, I know what I did. I moved the thrusters down below. In the video, I had them up here, and I just wasn't liking that, and so I went ahead and moved them down below, and I think they look a little bit better down here. Plus, it gives the underneath side of the vessel a little more character too. Okay, and there might have been one other change that I made, but I can't think of what it is off the top of my head. So let's go ahead and put our symmetry plane back on and continue with our paint job here. I could put the big brush on this thing here, but I'm afraid that if I do, I might overshoot it and splash it onto the deck, and I don't want to, then I'd have to come back and fix that later, which I don't really want to do. We've got a bug down there giving us a hassle too, don't we? Alright, let's get the center line done. I must have painted those without the symmetry plane? I don't know. I don't remember. Okay. Sometimes the way the light shines on the black, it looks like it's not painted when it is. So you have to make sure you're looking at it from the right angle to tell that. I made one more block change, but I can't remember... You son of a bitch. A dirty rat. That's why I killed those things. I should have, when I heard him coming, I should have stopped and killed his ass. Ah, jeez, okay. Anyway. Serves you right, you bastard. Alright, let's put the meat in here. And I'm going to just take a bandage to get us mostly healed all the way back up. And then we're good to go. Okay. Oh, what in the hell am I doing? Let's repair that. I still thought I had my paint gun in my hand, but apparently not. Okay. So let's get all that squirted. Oh yeah, we got a couple more spots up here. Okay, so I think we have everything painted black now. Whoops. Let's get back up on our drone here. Oh, no, we got a spot right here. Okay, now it's all painted black. Okay, now what we're going to do is we're going to go, like I said, with an orange trim as a secondary color. So why don't we start with the cockpit, first of all. And then we could do almost like an orange racing stripe kind of idea. And if we're going to do that, we don't need this on for the center stripe. Maybe we'll do the gun, maybe not. Let's see. All right, what does it look like if we paint the gun orange too? All right, if we did that, then maybe what would also would do is something like this. Those two black triangles are kind of cool looking there. Okay. So we'll come down this way too. And then we'll also squirt that. So it's a big racing stripe. Actually, I kind of like that. I think that works. If we stuck with the single stripe, then I would have changed the gun back, but this actually looks pretty cool. I think we can live with that. And the little keeping these little triangles there black also works too, just to kind of, you know, split things up a little bit. All right, let's see. Do we also want to make that orange as well? I think so. Okay. Now we could also, let's get off of whole block here. And what if we painted the thrusters orange? At least these ones here. I'm just making this up as I go. But what else is new, right? Okay, that's not bad. That's not bad. We could also, though, do like the whole face orange. Yeah, I think I like that better. Should have had the symmetry plane on, but it's okay. Alright, we might have a problem with this block. Yeah, this is that damn block that won't paint just on the one side. Well, shit. There's nothing I can do about that. Except for make the other ones look like it. I mean, if that's what we have to do, right? Yeah, that's doing it there, too. It's kind of too bad, because I like this little, you know, triangular look. Well, unless we leave it that way for the front. Let's take a look at it over here again. We'll put this back to black for a minute. Yeah, you know what? Let's run with it. We can't do anything about this. I don't know if this is a bug or what, but this block, and I think there's a couple other blocks too, but this block is one of those that, depending upon the, you know, how it's rotated, it won't paint just on the one facing there. It's kind of an all or nothing thing. So, all right, so I think that's pretty good for the paint. I mean, there's a lot more we could do if we really wanted to get fancy schmancy, but like I said, we're not going to get really fancy schmancy, because we need to get back into some other stuff. But let's just do a couple more touch-up types of things here. What we might do here is, why don't we give this like an access hatch? Okay. So we can use, you know, some deco for that sort of thing. And maybe what we'll do here is we could put some decals here. So let's go to symbols and we'll put this here. Okay. Like just a little warning sign for guns and stuff. How about if we try this? We want to go to here. It's really bright. Okay. So we put our mark on there. And then maybe we'll put some numbers along the side here. It's if we put a number on here, it's going to look weird. Ooh, yeah, it's actually totally backwards on there, too. Interesting. You know what we could do, though? We could do this. Let's remove that. Yeah, I don't think this is going to work because it's going to be backwards here, too. Okay. Yeah, that's not working so well, is it? Let's turn the symbol off. I mean, we could put the 7 here, right? But see the problem? It's not quite even. So I think we'll go with our original plan and just here. Let's just do removal here. There we go. Take that back off. Yeah, we did. That's all we can really do if we want to keep everything nice and synced up. We could maybe... Let's look at something else here. What if we went like that and then like this? Nope, not like that. I put 1967 as the numbers on all my vessels because that's my birth date. Alright, that doesn't look too bad. Now, like I said, I mean, we could spend a lot more time with it if we wanted to and really make some cool looking shit, but I think this is probably all I'm going to do on it for now. And that, you know, I mean, for a really basic paint job, that doesn't look too bad. Here's one other thing we could maybe do. I mean, I got to be careful because I can get carried away with this. It's been a long time doing this shit. Because it's fun, you know what I mean? Let's grab this texture here. And let's see if we can put the orange lighting on it. Yeah, that looks cool. Okay, so we'll put that inside the gun casing. There we go. Add a little bit more something to it. And then we could maybe go with like this texture. No, actually, yeah, I like it that way better. Wait, what? Oh yeah, different type of block. Yeah, those are extensions, so they texture differently. What if we tried this for the extension? It's kind of cool. And And then I'm going to maybe put the nuclear symbol there. Okay, I think that's good enough. I wish we could have done, you know, like the 67 here, but it's not, you know, because of that block is like a mirrored block, it's not going to let us put the symbol on. I don't know if there's a way to change that or not. Yeah, I'm not sure. The other thing to be aware of, too, is you generally don't want the symmetry plane on when you're doing numbering and symbols, because it doesn't usually mirror correctly on the other side, and that's even assuming you want the letters to be exactly the same on both sides, which in this case we didn't. So just kind of keep that in mind too. All right, guys, I think we're gonna run with this. The one thing I kind of don't like, though, actually, is I don't like how this is right next to the 7 here. So let's take that off. And maybe what we could do is put those here. Let's see what they look like on the slanted block there. It'll probably be fine. Yeah. Yeah, I like that better. So that way it's not, you know, crowded up right against the numbers there. Sometimes I'll do this too, like put like a little warning texture here next to the thruster. Like a stand back type of thing. You know what, though? That's not doing it for me. That's not doing it for me. Let's try, whoops, let's try something else, though, actually. So we want to go to that texture and the black. Instead, what we could do is, what if we stick with our black, but we go to the symbol, and we also have... We have that. What would it look like if it was orange? I don't know. I don't think I like that. I don't think I like that. All right. Well, then let's just go back to the normal. Just go with that, and we'll call it good. I mean, because you can definitely overdo it too. You can make things look a little too gaudy, if you know what I mean. So I think is everything painted under here? Yeah, it's just the way the light works or looks. Maybe we'll put like a little vent here. Oh, nope, we can't do that because that's an extension. Okay. That's good. We're going to stop now. Stop now, old guy. I kid you not, I could spend another hour on this just doing stuff if I wanted to. And it's fun, you know. That's part of the fun of the game. I mean, we could do some more detail down underneath here, but let's get going on to other things, or we'll be here all day. So, all right. So let's jump back in the cockpit and lower her down. So, what do you do with your hover vessel once you have it? That is the next thing we're going to take a look at. Not a bad looking rig. If you guys are interested, let me know in the comments, and I can put this up on the workshop if you want. I mean, I'm kind of liking this, that I might actually use this for real in an actual Let's Play at some point. It's a nice little build, if you don't mind my saying so. It performs well because we've already tested all that out. And yeah, it looks good. Okay, so let's go into our F4 menu. And we want to... We'll move that over to there. Actually, let's go back all the way into the base. We got to heal up anyway from that douchebag grasshopper that bit us in the ass when we were trying to paint our vessel. Rude. Let's see if our garden's ready to pick, too. Not quite. Still waiting on the pumpkins. So what else is new? Them damn pumpkins. All right. So we made some drills, so let's go ahead and connect to our output. So we got 2 fat drills and another skinny drill there. And we're going to put those on our toolbar. Whoop, wrong button. So right now we've got the guns connected, and so yeah, let's actually work with the guns first, and then we'll do some stuff with the drills. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to switch to the hover vessel, and let's put the other small drill in there. But then we're going to switch to the ore and wood and put the big drills in there. See, that gives us a volume 5.2 tons versus 2.8. So we're a bit heavy on the other side. Let's just see how big of a difference it makes. So we'll press O to level out. Yeah, it looks like it might be listing to port just a little bit. Let's press O. Not enough to be significant, though. Not enough to be significant. All right, let's change our view by pressing the Alt key and then using the mouse wheel to zoom out just a little bit. And then we're going to use the page down key to bring our camera down a little bit so our vessel comes up a little bit. And we might do that a little bit more so we can see our crosshair, because if you look at the crosshair right now, it's still pretty high up. I'm going to actually come back in just a smidge. And then let's do some more page down so we get that crosshair closer to the vessel. That's going to help, you know, when we're shooting and stuff. Okay, so what can you do with a hover vessel once you have a nice one made? One of the things you can do with it is you can go hunting with it. You do have to load the weapon first, though. Now, one thing I'm seeing right now that I don't like about this hover vessel is that in first-person view, the little spoiler we put, or the intake, it's kind of blocking our crosshair. I mean, it's not terrible. We can still use it, but it's not ideal. So, that being the case, I would probably spend most of my time in combat in this vessel than in third person. Or I would just suck it up and get used to it because that intake looks really awesome and I'm not going to move it. I'm not going to remove it. It looks cool. But yeah, that is a bit of an issue. I would say it's a minor issue, but it is, you know. I mean, anybody who's like even in a, you know, in a race car, you know, a drag racer that has those big intakes, they're going to be in the way. It's just the way it is. So, you know, we'll just deal. So yeah, anyway, you can go hunting and hunt in relative safety. You know, not that these parasars are going to hurt us, but this guy would certainly hurt us if we gave him the chance. And you'll notice if you look in the lower left-hand corner that I get XP when I am controlling the guns. It's a little cheaty, but it's a good way to get XP and a good way to get meat really fast. As long as you don't mind feeling like a terrible human being afterwards, okay? So that's a good thing you can do with a hover vessel as soon as you get gatlings on it for getting meat and leveling up in the game. Let's see, what else can we do? We already know, you know, that we can plop a harvester on the front of this and cut down trees. I've already demonstrated that in an earlier episode with our HV. That's funny that happens. What am I trying to say? The first HV, the one that we repaired, this guy up here, the tutorial HV. Let's see here. Where is that harvester at, though? Let's go back to the base. It shouldn't be in the input. It should be in the overflow. It is not. Is it inside the tutorial HV? Yes, it is. Okay. So we can actually move this over if we want to our new HV. And just, if we want to carry it with us. Now, it does, well, it's not super heavy, but it does take up a little bit of weight. So usually what I do with this is I don't carry it with me. I just keep it at the base until I need to go out and get wood. And then I just put it on, go out, get wood, and then come back and put it back in the base when I'm done. But, I mean, you can just attach that anywhere. And because it's just a temporary thing, I'm only going to have it on for a few minutes while I get some wood. I will usually just plop it right in front and stick it right in front of the guns. Now, if you do that, though, here, let's go here. Let's go here. This one. Okay. So you can just plop this down just like that, right? And go out and get some wood. The thing is, though, is it's blocking that gun, so you obviously will not be able to use that gun when you have this on here. But that's not a big deal because I'm not out to shoot stuff, I'm out to harvest wood. And then when I'm finished doing that, I just grab my multi-tool, make sure that it's set to retrieve blocks because I want to use my harvester later. I don't want to salvage it, I want to take it apart whole. And then just plop it back in your hover vessel and go on your merry way, or put it, in our case, put it back in the base because we don't need to carry it around with us. Okay, so I'm pretty sure we already covered that in an earlier episode, but just in case we didn't, you can use that. Actually, too, let's just look at one other thing, because I can't remember for 100% certainty that I covered this. So if you have your harvester on, notice it shows up on the toolbar, right? So it's the number 2 slot. So to activate it, I hit number 2, and then I just hold the mouse button down and go to town on some trees. Yeah, didn't we take this over here and cut a bunch of trees down when we were trying to do that experiment? But yeah, you just get up to the tree and you do this, and it'll put the wood right on into your ore box. Got a little spider's nest there. Yeah, and that's really all there is to it. So it's a great way to get a lot of wood very quickly. And you can learn the harvester very early on in the game, and so all you need is the most basic of hover vessel to use it. Like, for example, the little tutorial HV there. Okay, now, if I have my guns on, though, notice it says weapon malfunction, firing direction is blocked. It's not letting me use that third gun because it's blocked, of course, by the harvester. So pretty basic stuff, but sometimes you'll put that on and then you'll forget that it's on, and you'll go to shoot and your guns won't work, and you'll go, what the hell? That sort of thing, so. All right, let's put this back in the overflow bin of our base because, again, we don't need to carry it around with us. So, yeah, you can shoot stuff. You can go hunting. You can go harvest wood with it. The turret that's on top of our hover vessel is in the top turret group, and we set the rules of engagement on it to ignore prey, predators, and other players. Not that that matters in a single-player game anyway. But then we want it to attack enemy NPCs, drones, hover vessels, small vessels, capital vessels, bases, etc., etc. Or you can be more specific with exactly what it is that you want it to attack. It's not a bad idea to turn these things off unless, in fact, it's your intention to attack those things. Because if you have drones and you also had, say, like enemy small vessels in the area, and you want the guns to shoot the drones, it might instead prioritize the small vessel. And so in that case, You know, because you can't directly control what the shoots unless you are actually in, you know, in the gun itself, which of course you can do too. So, in a single player game, pretty much drones are the enemy ships. Of course, you know, in space, you know, we now have enemy capital vessels and I think maybe even some small vessels too. But on a planet, drones are really all you need to worry about. And so I'll usually turn this other stuff off, and maybe even bases, unless I'm building a hover tank that's designed to assault a base, which is another thing that a lot of people will build HVs for. They're very good in that role if you build them correctly. But anyway, that way I know for sure that if it sees a drone, it's going to prioritize that. And then for drones, it doesn't really matter, you know, what you have checked down here, but it would matter if you were going to, say, attack a base and you wanted your hover vessel to focus fire on the turrets of the base. In that case, you would have bases selected and you would turn all of this other stuff off. So that way you're telling your gun only shoot at the base's turrets and don't try and also take out its thrusters or its, well, there's no thrusters on bases, but its generators and that sort of thing. Okay, so yeah, you just want to make sure you set up the rules of engagement correctly. And if you're setting that stuff up on a group as opposed to an individual gun, make sure you click apply to group so it will actually apply it. Otherwise, it won't apply it at all. And then you'll be going along and wondering, why in the hell isn't this working? Game, you picked a crappy day for us to demonstrate our hover vessel. You know what I think we're going to do? We're going to go do a little cheaty stuff here, and we're going to go weather off. There we go. We can do that because this is a single player game. You can't do that on a multiplayer server unless you are an admin. All right, so we talked about combat. Now, the other thing about combat though is that when you're in a hover vessel that does not have a shield, which we don't, you can use your top turrets to take out drones, but you have to try and not get hit as much as possible, which means that you want to keep moving. So, how far away is enemy territory from here? Quite a ways away, actually. The Xerax territory is way the hell up here. It wouldn't take us that long to get to it, though, I suppose. Well, let's start moving in that direction, kind of to the northwest. And we're going to also take a look at drilling, too, because that's the other real big thing that you're going to do with a hover vessel, is you're going to use it as a drilling vessel. And, you know, we've already talked about that you can build the hover vessel to specialize in that specific role if you want to. Oh, there's the old Heidelberg. This is one of the quest, the main storyline POIs. It's right inside the stone there. They have to fix that, man. I'm surprised they haven't. When they came out with Alpha 12 and then, you know, the actual release of 1.0, POIs have a problem where the vegetation grows right through them. And, you know, that's not supposed to happen, of course. And it's never been a problem before that I remember. But, yeah, that's something that needs to be fixed. Anyway, yeah, this is one of the main storyline POIs, points of interest, that it'll lead you to. And there's some things you have to do here, but I'm not going to go into that. I'm not going to spoil it for you. You'll have to figure that one out on your own. All right, so let's go out this way. And we want to kind of start to work our way towards enemy territory. Man, this thing really performs nice. It does. It feels good. Very happy about how it came together. So let's just kind of get... We need to find a... Okay, we've got... Okay, good. This was perfect, because we got a minigun drone guarding a copper and a silicon deposit. That's exactly what we want to do. So let's do a squirt here to get that guy up on our radar. Now, what's going to happen is we're going to fly underneath this minigun drone, and we're going to let our turret take it out, but we're not going to just sit still and let it shoot at us. Okay? So we just kind of keep moving, and don't let it shoot us as we shoot it. Pretty simple. If you have two or more drones in, you know, right next to each other, it's a little trickier, but it's the same idea. You just want to keep moving around and don't give it a chance to shoot you. And, you know, if it gets a couple of shots squeezed off on you, it's not the end of the world, usually. You're going to also have plasma drones, and you're going to have rocket drones, and you're going to have larger versions which do more damage of those types of drones. So when you start engaging, you know, those more dangerous drones, hopefully at that point you have a bigger hover vessel with some shields on it and better guns. But in the early game, this works very well, you know, for taking out enemy drones. The main thing to remember is just keep moving, and don't let them just sit there and wail on you, because we don't have any shields, and we have just normal steel on this vessel, so we can't take very many hits. And I thought we took a couple of hits, but maybe we didn't. I'm just kind of, I'm on the repair, right? And I'm just holding the mouse button down as I move, kind of sweep across the vessel to see if there's anything that got damaged. But it looks like maybe we didn't. Looks like we're okay. Often, too, what the enemies will attack, the AIs, they'll actually attack your turret. So this is the most likely thing that it'll shoot at. So always check your turret when you're finished to make sure it's still in good condition. Cool. All right, so let's go ahead and go back over to this, copper deposit. We should loot this drone too. Always loot the drones if you can, because they usually have decent stuff on them. They usually have useful stuff on them. Maybe not like really high-end awesome stuff, but useful stuff. I'm going to hold down shift and hit F and auto loot that. See, we got a little bit of fuel and some ammunition. Not bad. All right, so drilling. We have already talked about drilling with your hand drill. And I told you, I believe I told you when we did that, that if you have a small deposit or a very small deposit, you're probably going to be further ahead just to use the hand drill and drill it that way. Because you can drill it very quickly and you don't have to mess around with, you know, trying to fight your vessel to get it underground to get to the deposit. If you have a medium deposit, it's, you know, it's kind of a toss-up, I think. If you have a large deposit or a very large deposit, use your hover vessel drill. It's gonna be faster ultimately. That's just kind of your general rule of thumb. But because we want to demonstrate drilling, with our hover vessel, we're gonna go ahead and drill these small deposits with the hover vessel. Normally I wouldn't do that though. Okay, let's do one more squirt of our detector and just kind of look at the map here. Okay, there's no enemies anywhere nearby, so what I'm going to do is go to my special switch here, and I'm going to turn our top turret off, put that away so we have a lower profile, but we can still use our normal turrets. The other thing we have to do, obviously, is we have to switch those out too. So let's connect to here, and we'll put those down on our toolbar. We're going to make sure we're on retrieve blocks, and we're going to very carefully just hit the Gatlings and nothing else, because we don't want to accidentally damage any of our other blocks. Okay? Then we're going to press T, grab our drills, and we're going to put the drills in place. But I also made a fourth drill. And what I'm going to do with this fourth drill is I'm going to actually put it up on top here. And what we're going to actually probably want to do, I mean, we could put it, I could have it just sitting up in the air and it's not going to hurt anything. But if that bothered me, I might end up actually taking this stuff off just while we're drilling, and then I can put it back on later. Okay? And that's really just up to you. Honestly, if I was just doing this by myself in my own single player game, and I wasn't doing a video or anything like that, I'd just probably plop it on top of those blocks and go to town and not worry about it. But if you want it to, continue to look good, or maybe, maybe you're planning on keeping the drills attached for a little while, then you might want to take that off so that it fits more concentrically. Okay? And then, this is completely unnecessary too, because we're going to pull these back off later, but if you really want to make things look good, you can paint your drills too. Completely unnecessary. It's just an aesthetic thing. All right, so what we've done is we've put the drills in a pattern. They're kind of spread out. They're also kind of close together too, but they're kind of spread out. And what you want to do is you want to make sure they're spread out enough to where you're going to bore out a big enough hole that your vessel itself will fit through. Now, This actually came up on one of my Let's Play videos not too long ago, and there was a discussion about whether or not you should have your drills close together or further apart. There's actually advantages to both. If your drills are closer together, then you will drill out the resource faster because you have multiple drills working on the same area. But you will also have a smaller area that you're drilling. If the drills are spread further apart, they're going to bore out a larger hole, but they're also going to take longer to harvest the same amount of resource in the same amount of time. I tested, and I even tested that because, again, someone commented on that, and there was some question about whether or not what they said was correct. And so I went and did some testing, and that's basically what I found in my testing. So there's no right or wrong way to do it. It just depends. Is your goal to bore a larger hole, or is your goal to mine as much ore as quickly as possible in the shortest amount of time? Now, we were also doing that on meteorites. So with meteorite mining, you're just mining a big old, chunk of ore that fell out of the sky. If you're going to mine underground, you really probably want to make sure they're spaced out far enough to where you have enough room to maneuver your vessel down below, because you don't want to get it stuck down there. It is possible to get it stuck, and that's not fun. Okay, so we have the drills set. So what we're going to do is we're going to climb in here. Notice on the toolbar down below, the number 1 slot now contains our drills. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to get into third person mode, because here again, that top drill is kind of blocking our view anyway. I spend probably about 80% of my time in third person anyways when I'm drilling underground with a hover vessel. And now we're going to press the Alt key, kind of get in position here. In terms of your height, somewhere around like 1.5 meters or so is a pretty good height for when you're drilling. If you're higher than that, you're going to have trouble, kind of biting into the ground, and you're going to be scraping along the roof of your tunnel kind of thing. And if you're too low, then you're going to be dragging along the bottom. And, so somewhere around 1 to 1.5 meters is usually a pretty good spot for you to be. And that is also somewhat determined, by your drill configuration too, of course. So right now I'm level. Okay. What I'm going to do though is I'm going to press my down arrow key, and I'm in camera mode. Remember, I got that way by pressing the left Alt key. Okay. And I'm just going to kind of dip the nose down a little bit and then start the drills. And what they're going to do is they're going to start drilling, and then I'm going to go back. I'm going to press the left Alt key so I'm back into this mode, and then, kind of keep my nose down as I continue to drill down under the ground here. Okay. And let's see, we're doing a copper deposit, right? So this copper deposit is, oh, there it is right there. Okay. The thing when you're drilling with the hover vessel, the thing you want to kind of watch for is just make sure that you're coming at it at the right angle. And if I'm too high, which I am, because I'm kind of over the top of the deposit, I'm going to back out and, come at it from a longer or a wider angle, so I can kind of get down to the deposit. Because, if you're above it and you start drilling straight down, you could get stuck, particularly when you're using these mechanical drills as opposed to the laser drills. And then, of course, if you're too far below it, then you're having to point it up all the time to get to all the ore. So you want to try and hit it more or less in the middle. Now, because this is a small deposit, it's pretty easy for us to grab all of it. But if it was a larger deposit, then there's going to be a lot more there. So you have to be a little bit more strategic about how you approach it, your angle, and that sort of thing. And just again, watch your height. So I was a little high there, so I just pressed the C key to go back down to, 1.7, 1.5 meters. And after that, it's just a matter of maneuvering the vessel and getting the drills into all the ore so that you can get it all mined out. Now, do be careful, because you can get stuck, and I've done it before, especially, again, like I said, with the mechanical drills. And I got stuck so bad one time that I could not get the vessel out for the life of me. I ended up actually having to disassemble it and use my jetpack to get out of the hole. And since that time, of course, I've been a little bit more careful about that. If you put laser drills on your hover vessel, which you can do later on when you can learn them, the laser drills have a lot longer range, so it's a lot easier to get out of a hole, you know, with the laser drill than it is with the mechanical drills. So yeah, just kind of be mindful of all those things. And remember, if you're working on a larger deposit, there's going to be a lot more ore than what you're seeing here, and so you're going to have a lot bigger area that you're going to have to drill out and manage. And all the while that I'm doing this, you know, I'm fighting this hover vessel the whole time. And I'm constantly, you know, trying to maneuver it and get it, you know, in position to get the ore out, right? And I'm trying to be careful not to just kind of dig straight down and get myself stuck. The other thing to keep in mind about this particular hover vessel is it's not designed exclusively for drilling, so it's got some hard edges, and you know, I'm gonna get hung up more than I would in a vessel that I designed to be a little smoother and a little more compact specifically for drilling. But it does work, right? I can get the job done and get my ore drilled out as needed, because this is just our all-purpose vessel. So we got just a little bit more here. In fact, let's get in here and kind of don't be afraid to use your O key either. Let's kind of get around here just to kind of get the rest of that out. And then I'm gonna try and turn to the right here while I use the O key. And if sometimes you have to kind of cut the stone away so you can actually turn your nose around. So yeah, it's again, I would not have done this on a small deposit. I would have just pulled my laser out and my drone out and mined this whole thing out in about 20 seconds and been on my merry way. But here again, I wanted to show you, you know, how you could use the hover vessel for doing that. Okay, so there's a couple more things I want to show you. The first thing is that when you're drilling either a really large deposit, or if your purpose is to excavate a large area of earth, there's a mode called fixed drill mode, which works very well for that because it'll keep the hover vessel, basically it'll keep it level for you. So to get into fixed drill mode, what I'm going to do is I'm going to hold down my shift key and then I'm going to press the O key. Now you might have noticed in the lower right hand corner, all the way over to the lower right hand corner where you kind of see like the little drill symbol, and then right next to that you see like a circle with a, you know, a try something in the middle. I don't even know what the hell that is, but that tells me that I'm now in fixed drill mode. So in fixed drill mode now, I just pressed and held the O key, so I'm leveled out, and now I'm going to press the left Alt key to get into camera mode. This is going to keep my vessel nice and level. Now I can't move really fast, but you don't want to, because this is for precision cutting, right? So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to actually face to the south. Okay, I'm using my compass up on the screen. I'm going to face to the south, and I'm going to press the O key. And now what we're going to need to do, though, is we're going to need to drill down a little bit. So the other thing fixed drill mode will do is once you activate it and start your drills... Oh shit! Okay, get out of fixed drill mode by pressing Shift O and get the hell out of Dodge. You son of a... I wasn't paying attention. That was my bad. I should have been paying attention, but I wasn't. We'll get revenge though. Yeah, so fixed drill mode's going to allow you to keep the drill level, and it's going to keep your drills running for you. Sometimes your turrets, you know, get really stupid and they won't... Oh, either that or the person operating gets really stupid and realizes there's no ammo left for the gun. Son of a... Okay. Alright, guys, this is going to have to be one of those situations where do as I say and not as I do. That was my bad. I should have been paying attention. Yeah, that damn drone snuck up on us. Okay, here's how... Where's he at? We're going to try and stay under him, and then what we're going to do is we're going to quickly bail out of here, and we're going to show him the error of his ways. You mother. Okay. Oh, we got some decent stuff from him, though. Yeah, that was my bad. That was my bad. I should have been paying attention. I mean, you know, we're on the noob planet, and I just thought I was safer than I really was. But we have some damage, but I don't think we've lost any blocks. Because we had already taken that block. In fact, we didn't even need to take that block off. Okay. Yeah, we're okay. We got this. So let's go underneath to our little hatch area to get into the cockpit. And we'll bring her back down and then just do some quick repairs. Nope. Get our multi-tool out, right-click, go to repair, and let's fix things up here. Our gun took a couple of hits, got a little bit of splash damage, but it doesn't look like we actually lost any blocks, so I think we're in good shape. If we would have taken... oh, we did lose a block. Doggone it. Okay, so we did lose a block. I was going to say, if we would have taken too many more hits, we would have started losing blocks. Of course, it's the really hard one to fit too. Naturally. Okay. Now, did I bring some spare blocks? No, because those are the ones we took off the front. But what we're going to do in this case is we're going to just use one of these instead. Let's get up here so we can see what the hell we're doing. And this block was our transition block. I think it was this guy here. I think. Yeah, that's the one. All right. Okay, all back to new. Since we have this other block, let's just go ahead and put this one back because I didn't actually need to take it off, and that way it'll keep our RCS a little bit better protected. Oops. There we go. And that's orange. Okay, so yeah, pay attention to your surroundings. We got another drone that's came in up that way. See, that drone was probably the drone that normally guards this, so he just respawned and came back, you know, to his territory. We could... I don't know if this guy's going to harass us or not. Let's actually get back here. The thing is we do need to go mine that silicon deposit, though, too. Okay, so it doesn't look like he's coming after us. Yeah, so what happened, guys, was I only had 1,000 rounds of 15 mil in here, and so I think when we loaded the Gatlings, it must have taken most of that up. And so yeah, that's the next lesson here. Make sure you have enough ammo. Oh shit. All right, what's the range on our sniper? It is where's that? Current range is 126 meters. I mean, the other way we could take this guy out is just the way we took the other one out. Just get underneath him really quick and jump out and shoot his ass. What was that again? 126. Yeah, that's not good. Okay, so let's just quickly get underneath this guy. Okay, and then we're gonna hop out here. Shit. There we go. He probably wouldn't have come back over to the copper, but we're gonna mine this silicon out anyway, so we still had to get rid of him. Okay. Okay, so we were talking about fixed drill mode. So let's go over here to this mountain. This will be a better place to demonstrate this. So let's say I need, I want to clear part of this mountain away because I'm planning on building my base up against it or something, to that effect. You have a reason, whatever it happens to be, to to clear some land out to excavate. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to press Shift plus O to get back into fixed drill mode. I'm going to press the O key and hold it so I'm perfectly level, even though the land around me isn't at the moment. I'm going to then choose my heading, so I'm going to go make sure I'm going pretty much pointing due south, and I can use either the compass on my HUD or the mini-map in the upper right-hand corner. Just do another squirt and make sure there's no more enemies coming. Yeah, that guy caught me with my pants down, didn't he? Okay. Alright, and so we're in fixed drill mode. We pressed Shift plus O, and now we're going to press the button down, and the drills will just stay running. So you don't even have to continue to hold the button down. I was just about ready to show you hands-free when we when we got attacked, okay? Now, when you're in fixed drill mode, you can still adjust your height, up or down as needed, and press, it's always a good idea to repeatedly press the O key, or I should say frequently press the O key, so, you're staying as level as possible. And then it's just a matter of, drilling out the land. And you just go nice and slow. And one of the things this is going to do for me is it's going to allow me to drill a really nice, flat, straight tunnel. So this is also a good, a good tool to use for that if you just want to make yourself a really nice tunnel. So depending upon how far back you want to go, you go that far, and then you can either turn around inside, or you can back out. It just depends upon what you're trying to do. And then I'm just going to kind of move over this way, and then start drilling out the next part. So we missed a little furrow there, so we're going to adjust, kind of come back this way. I'm going to press the O key again to make sure we're staying level. And then in this way, spending enough time and just double checking my level with the O key at all times, I can eventually carve myself out a really nice flat area. Now this particular drill, of course, isn't going very high for us because it's not really, it's a very compact, multi-purpose hover vessel. But one of the things you can do in fixed drill mode is you can sort of kind of hover high enough up to where you can carve out, the ceiling too. So you just have to make sure your drills still stay engaged, and then I can actually go up really high. I mean, higher than I normally would be able to. Like, look at my altimeter. I'm 12 meters off the ground. This vessel usually only goes 3 meters, right? So as long as I keep my drills engaged, I can actually go up and, drill out the top of the tunnel too. So it's really useful. It's also very useful for meteorite mining. So if you're mining meteorites, you can just put the hover vessel into fixed drill mode and just let it drill it while you sit there and have a beer and, read the paper or whatever you do. Okay, so very useful. All right, let's do Shift O to get out of fixed drill mode. And let me see something here. Okay. The last thing we're going to take a look at is the big drills. So everything I just showed you with the little drills is fine and good, but as soon as you get yourself a hold of a pair of big drills, it gets a lot better. So let's go over here and we'll get down a little bit. The other thing to watch for, too, is when you add these drills to the vessel, you do want to make sure you're paying attention to your CPU. It's not as critical with the mechanical drills, but when you upgrade to the laser drills, it's it's very important because the laser drills they don't actually use a ton of CPU, but they use a lot of power. So one normal generator is not going to be able to support, the maximum of 6 laser drills. In fact, you're going to need 3 generators to support 6 laser drills. I happen to know that because that's exactly what I did in my Let's Play series a couple episodes ago. Okay, what we're going to do now is we're going to put our guns back in place. And I'm just gonna leave those blocks off of there for now. And I'm gonna grab the big drills. Wait, where are the big drills? Oh, here they are. Okay, I was gonna say, we did take those, right? I'm gonna just ditch this stone for now, just because it's taking up a lot of room. In fact, I'm gonna ditch the wood too. Both of those things are super easy to get. The copper, not so much, so we're gonna hang on to that. Okay, what I'm going to do with these drills now, guys, is I'm going to actually put them right there. I don't want them to block the thrusters, but we're going to put them on the side. And, see, that's down, yeah. These guys are monsters. They're really, really good for excavation. That's kind of what they're designed for, but you can use them to mine, too. Okay? And, again, we just want to check our CPU. Yeah, we're fine on CPU with these guys. The principle is exactly the same. The only difference here now is we're going to be able to excavate a lot bigger area with these guys. So let's get close to the mountain here. Let's press the O key. Shift O to get into fixed drill mode. Get a little closer. And check this out. So these guys are going to remove a lot more material. So you want to make yourself, a pair of these, or, however many you can fit for excavating. You can use the small drills, but these drills are not that expensive. So as long as you can afford, as long as you have the points, right? Because you have to be a couple levels higher, I think, to get them. This is the way to go for making very large, very fast excavations. That looks pretty badass, too. Those big ass drills on top of the hover, or in the front of the hover vessel. I love it. Okay, let's get out of fixed drill mode, and just to demonstrate that you can also use these for ore too. Where's that silicon deposit? I think it's over here. There we go. So we're gonna get right about here. Let's get down to about 1.5 meters or so. Of course, these guys are kind of dragging on the ground. I'm going to use my because they're sitting kind of low. I'm really having to fight the mouse to get my nose down far enough to get down in there. But once we get started, then we can just go to town. See, look at it just tearing through that silicon deposit. In fact, we've already torn through it. Just have to bite down a little bit more here. This would probably work better for me if I had put the drills up a block higher, because they're kind of dragging on the ground. I want to move these up because I keep dragging on the ground here, and it's I'm having to fight it a little more than I need to, I think. Okay, so we'll put them up a block higher than they were before. Yeah, they're still getting hung up on me. Okay, well, anyway. I think the water's causing some weirdness. There we go. Now we're getting a bite. Less than 10%. Okay, there's just a tiny bit left there. Yeah, those water blocks are acting weird. At this point, what I would probably do is just hop out and get the rest with my mining drill. Well, actually, I would have just done that in the first place, but anyway, the main purpose of these drills is for excavation. That's really, you know, where they shine. And you know, as long as you can afford the CPU and the generator and you have the right position, you can put more than 2 on too. You don't have to just do 2. That does it does look really cool, man. I love the look at that with those big ass drills in there. All right, guys. Well, that is it, I believe, for this episode. And you know, like other things too, hover vessels can come in all shapes and sizes. This is a pretty small vessel, a small hover vessel, I should say. You can make very large hover vessels, make huge battle tanks, you know, and put combat steel on them, and put a bunch of turrets on them, shield them, and then go, you know, take on some of the toughest POIs in the game. They're very good in that role if you know, if you build them correctly. But of course, that takes a lot longer to do, and I just wanted to, you know, to show you the basics here. And we got ourselves a really, you know, pretty nice little hover vessel. And it can do a lot of stuff. It doesn't necessarily do all of that stuff really, really well, but it does it adequately. You know, it's a good start for us. So in the next episode, what we're going to do is we're going to pretty much do the same thing all over again, except for this time, it's going to be small vessels that we're going to do. So we're going to build ourselves a small vessel, and we're going to then go to space and probably, you know, go to the moon, and then after that that'll probably be it for the series, and we'll wrap it up. So anyway, I'm gonna go back home and go eat some dinner in real life because my wife's waiting for me. Hope you guys enjoyed this episode. If you did, please hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, leave a comment, and share out the video, and we'll see you in the next one. Bye bye.